Hi, I'm Jordan from Kettner Creative. In this video, we're going to compare the GoXLR audio interface and audio mixer for live streaming with its little brother, the GoXLR Mini. We're going to walk through all the similarities, all the differences. I'm going to try to contextualize the similarities and differences so you know when or when not a feature may or may not be needed by you. We're going to answer some frequently asked questions, and then I'm going to give my overall recommendations, again, just to try sum it all up for you as to which device would appeal more to which type of content creator or live streamer. Now, first of all, the most important thing that I'm sure everybody wants to know is the current price. As you can imagine, the current price goes up and down over time. So we have put links down in the description below where you can find the current up-to-date price at a variety of online retailers to make sure that you can find the best price possible online. So please do check those links out, as I do think that they are helpful for you. Next, let's talk about power and connectivity. Both of these devices are only compatible with PC. They're not compatible with Mac. If you do want to use it with a Mac laptop like I'm doing right now in this video, you will have to install Boot Camp or something similar. It's worth noting at the time of this video, the new Mac M1 chips don't currently support Boot Camp. So that is another thing that you do want to consider. But if you're a PC gamer or online streamer with a PC setup, you have nothing to worry about. You do have full compatibility. In terms of power and signal, the bigger GoXLR does need an external 12-volt power supply, and both devices obviously need to connect to your computer. The GoXLR Mini is completely bus powered. It has a USB Type B connector out of the back, so whether you're using a USB Type A laptop like I'm using over here, or a USB Type C laptop, you will need the appropriate cable to make sure that you can connect your USB Type B device to that one. We do have some links down in the description below if you are looking for those cables and want to figure out a little bit more about what I'm talking about there. With the GoXLR, the bigger one here, you do obviously need the same USB cable for the data, but it does have an external power supply for it. It's also worth noting that neither one of these devices have a power switch. They have released a power kit for the bigger GoXLR that you can put in line to the power connector with a power switch, but neither of them have that built into the bare device itself. Now let's move on to connectivity on both devices. Now these are both called the GoXLR, so both of them do have an XLR input on the back of each mixer here. They both have the same Midas preamps where they can give up to 72 decibels of gain. So even if you're trying to power a hard to power microphone like the Shure SM7B, both of them can do that without an external inline preamp like a cloud lifter, no problem at all. That 72 dB of gain is tons. I don't know any microphone that requires more gain than that. Typically, you'll only set it to 60 or 62 dB when you're trying to power something like the Shure SM7B. Both XLR inputs as well do have 48 volts of phantom power if you do need it. So if you have a Rode NT1 or any other condenser microphone that you want to plug into your GoXLR or GoXLR Mini, both XLR inputs can power those devices and make them work correctly. On the back of both devices, they do both have a line in and a line out. So if you are connecting something like an external audio mixer, you can use that line input. Or if you're connecting to another device like a camera or something and you want to line into it, you can do that as well. And if you're running a dual PC setup and want to use that line output, you can do that on both of them as well. Next, both devices do have a headset jack input as well. A 3.5mm jack is on the front of the GoXLR Mini and on the back of the GoXLR. And as well, both devices do have a headphone jack. Again, on the Mini, this is located on the front, but on the GoXLR, this is located on the back. If you are connecting to a console like an Xbox or something like that with an optical audio connection, both of them have that as well. So there's no difference in the inputs and outputs or connectivity on both devices. Now we can move to the top side of both devices. You can see here that they both have 4 faders. On the full-size GoXLR, they are motorized. So if you hit mute, for example, that fader will physically move. If you hit mute, for example, on the GoXLR Mini, it won't do anything. Just the light will turn off, but there's no animation of the fader itself. That setting will be saved if you go to unmute. You just don't get the joy of seeing the fader move. So do keep that in mind as well. Now, both of them do have a mute switch below each input input as well. And on the top side, you can see here on the full-size GoXLR, it does have that nice LED scribble strip, so you can change it to whatever input. You can have a little icon there that changes. You can save scenes and all that. But on the smaller GoXLR Mini, that is screen printed. Although you still can soft patch, say here in input 2 you want to have your headphone jack volume, you can do that, but obviously this title at the top of the channel strip doesn't change. You can still do the soft patching in the software, so maybe you need a piece of board tape or something like that to write it down to keep track of which is which, or just reference the software, which is up to you. But on the GoXLR, the full-size one here, it does make that a little bit easier by updating that LED scribble strip for you. Next, both devices do have some form of mute button. They both act exactly the same, just the button size and position is different, and they both have the swear button as well. So if you are going to be explicit, you can beep yourself out by pressing that button on both devices. They both work exactly the same way. Now this is where the differences are very obvious. You can see right off the bat that the smaller GoXLR Mini does not have any type of sample pad. It doesn't have 3 pages. It doesn't have anything like that. It also doesn't have the 6 voice effects built into it at all. It's a lot more simple and straightforward. These things are really fun, but I don't think a lot of people use them a lot of time unless you have like a call-in show or you have something that really relies on a lot of meme related content or sound effects that you do want to call up as you banter on your live stream. For most people, I would say probably close to 90% of people, that'll be really exciting for the first stream or two, but you really don't use it too much after that. For me, I'd use the mute button or the swear button a lot more than anything like that, but it really does depend on the type of content that you do produce for your live stream or the video that you are recording with these devices. Next, let's talk about the sound processing that's available on both devices. There's one small difference here and one pretty big difference with how you're able to process the sound on both devices. First of all, we have the noise gate. Both of them have a 4 variable noise gate. It's helpful for setting it up correctly to get it to work properly if you do have background noise issues and you do want to put the noise gate in. Both of them work identically in that way. With the EQ, the full-size GoXLR has a 10-band EQ and the smaller GoXLR Mini has a 6-band EQ. But as we've demonstrated with all our setup videos that we have on recommended EQ and compression settings, I think that with the fine-tune mode that's built into both devices, you can get the GoXLR Mini to sound exactly like the GoXLR in terms of what I would like to do with the EQ, because with that fine-tune mode, you can actually change the frequency that you're selecting. So I find that you can accomplish the same thing even though you have a 10-band EQ on the full size and a 6-band EQ on the GoXLR Mini. Next, you have a compressor that works identically on both as well. This is really helpful for narrowing the dynamic range of your live stream. We do have a bunch of setup videos on that. If you do want to check out, we have links down in the description below. Next is the big difference between the processing on both. My guess is it's just a power requirement, and since the GoXLR has extra power, the processing power is a little bit better, but it does have a built-in DeEsser, and the GoXLR Mini does not have a built-in DeEsser. A DeEsser is really helpful for getting rid of those sibilant frequencies, especially if you have a little bit of a lisp or something like that. If you're doing 3-hour live streams, it makes it a lot more pleasant for people to listen to when those frequencies are rounded off a little bit more. So do keep that in mind. That's a pretty big difference between the two of these. And without that, if you're using the GoXLR Mini, you'd need some other software-based DeEsser solution for your live stream. So do keep that in mind. Next, we have the 2 most popular questions that we get with both of these devices, and the answer is the same for both. So does the Shure SM7B work with the GoXLR or the GoXLR Mini without the need for a cloud lifter or inline preamp? I did already answer that earlier in this, but yes, with 72 dB of gain available on both XLR Midas preamps and both of these devices, right now I'm plugged in straight. It's the microphone you've been listening to this whole video. No problem whatsoever. You don't need any type of external equipment to make the Shure SM7B or any other hard to power dynamic microphone work. Next, a lot of people do want to know if you can make the Blue Yeti work with either one of these. Perhaps they're starting their upgrade path or their upgrade journey. The first thing that they want to do is get a mixer, because there are all kinds of different soft patching opportunities for setting up your live stream and your Discord all properly with either one of these devices. And the answer is yes. The simple way that I would do it is just by connecting the headphone jack from your Blue Yeti into the headset input on the front of the GoXLR Mini or on the back of the full-size GoXLR. Now with this, you are still relying on the preamp, so the gain setting and the cardioid pickup polar pattern mode, you need to set both of those up on the Blue Yeti. You do need to power the Blue Yeti by plugging it into a USB power device. You can plug it into your computer just as well. Just make sure that you do have the GoXLR selected, and then you'll connect the headphone jack to either one of these devices and you can use that. That's a really good way to start your upgrade journey if you are trying to come away from a USB microphone like the Blue Yeti. Okay, so we've compared both of these devices. Now, which one do I actually recommend? Which one do I think has the most value for most people? I think for 80% of people, the GoXLR Mini is the perfect device for live streaming. You get the powerful XLR preamp that can power any microphone, including the Shure SM7B. You get the 4 faders here and all the soft patching, all that is the same. You get a lot of vocal processing on here, although you don't have the DeEsser. Even though you don't have flying faders or the LED Scribble Strip, I don't think a lot of people need those things. I think for most people, the GoXLR Mini is the perfect device. Now I'm going to rate the differences on the bigger GoXLR compared to the GoXLR Mini. On things that I don't think really matter that much are the sampler and the voice effects. I think they're a novelty. I think most people, unless you have a very specialized live stream where you are referencing memes all the time and you do want the sampler and voice effects, I think most people just kind of get on with it and they don't need those things. I don't think that that's very important. On the medium side, I do like the LED Scribble Strip and I do like the flying faders. I think when you're changing things up or changing pages or soft patching, or you come back to your live stream after a while, it is nice to know exactly what you've done and which setting is where, so you can quickly do things on the fly. Sometimes when you're on a live stream, it is nice to really have that accurate Scribble Strip here. You can do it with tape on the GoXLR Mini if you want, but I think just having that is one of those things that's just a split second faster that you can find exactly what you're trying to do and make that adjustment. But on the more important scale, I think that the biggest difference probably in the sound of each device is the DeEsser. The DeEsser is really powerful. I do highly recommend it for most people when they're live streaming for long periods of time, because it does round off those more grating frequencies and it does make your live stream more pleasant to listen to over a longer period of time. So I do think that that's something to consider there. So is that worth the money between the two different devices? That's completely up to you. For me, I recommend everybody buys the GoXLR Mini. I think that's the best value here out of both of them for what most people do on a day-to-day basis. If you have any questions about both devices here, we do have a playlist that we put together with a ton of different setup guides for both devices that we have linked down in the description below. But if you do have any questions that I haven't answered in this video when comparing these devices, please leave a comment down in the comment section below. We'll try to find the right answer or help you along as much as we can. And again, if you do want to see the current price to help you compare these two even better, please check out the links down in the description below for current up-to-date pricing at a variety of online retailers to make sure that you are finding the best price possible when you are looking to buy either one of these devices. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.